Hi everyone, welcome back to the Sports Breakdown once again. So today we are going to do the India versus West Indies preview, and plus we're going to do Sri Lanka versus Pakistan first test review as well. So we'll be doing both of that. Anyone can join. And yeah, we have one comment here. Okay, yeah, it's from my messages, anyways. So anyways, we're going to talk more on the India versus West Indies too. Obviously, we know that it's not a strong looking India's team going to West Indies for the ODI squad, but still, I think this is a good chance for like players like Shikhardhawan, even who else, Arshdeep Singh, Avesh Khan, a lot of players for them to test themselves and to see whether they do well in this upcoming series. And yeah, let's without further ado, I think people will join. So as we know, India versus West Indies ODI series starts today at 7 p.m. IST at Queen Sports Park in Trinidad and Tobago. So yeah, we have Paji joining us.
Awesome.
Paji, how are you?
I'm very good, Pavan. How are you?
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've done a live, but yeah, I'm very excited for this series upcoming India versus West Indies, obviously starting today. How excited are you, especially seeing the India squad, especially Shikhar Dhawan going to lead the side? We have Arshdeep Singh coming to this ODI team. We have Chahal, we have Gaikwad. First of all, I want to ask on Jadeja's condition. Is he okay to play this series? Because there's rumors going on that he's injured and perhaps could be rested in this ODI series leg. Any
Yeah.
updates on Ravindra Jadeja, whether he's going to miss out the ODI series?
I think what will happen is if it's they're going into a last game scenario and he's fit, I think he will play. Otherwise, I think they should rest him because obviously he's had a lot of cricket. He played all the test match. He played the all the other games as well. So I think maybe Ravi could take a rest in the first game, and then obviously like they did with Arshdeep, they played him in the first game, and then no, he didn't play the other two games, which wasn't a great idea, but at least they won the series. So I think winning
Yeah,
the series is the main thing, and it's just a question of whether Jadeja is required. So, but again, as I said, for the series, as you just said, it's like a treadmill, isn't it? Like you're looking at the fixtures, and I looked at the fixtures today. I've just actually watched the video of Shikhar talking about his relationship with Rahul, and it's
yeah.
looking a happy camp,
Mm.
very good energy in the camp, and a leader like
Yes.
Shikhar is only going to be good for the team.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sure whether KL Rahul also is going to miss the 2020 tour, but I think still they have a fantastic team here led by Shikhar Dhawan. Obviously, I hope he is in the 2023 World Cup squad as well. We have Arshdeep Singh coming for the first time in the ODI squad, if I'm not mistaken. We have Avesh Khan. We'll talk about the fast bowlers first. Arshdeep, Avesh. We have Siraj back as usual. Patel misses out, but I think they're obviously giving him a rest because I think he's the lead bowler coming to maybe the ODI World Cup next year, and Shardul Thakur. So how do you think, and Prashid Krishna as well, how do you think of the fast bowling lineup, first of all, Paj? I mean, Arshdeep Singh, this is a good opportunity for him, especially the upcoming three ODI series and the 5 2020 match
Yeah.
series, especially in West Indian conditions. We know it mainly suits fast bowlers. And for Arshdeep, I think it could be a good test for him, and maybe he could show signs of improvement as well. I mean, he's already a standout, especially in 2020 cricket, but ODI cricket, we haven't seen much of Arshdeep. So, what
Yeah.
do you expect, especially of Arshdeep and the fast bowlers, especially Avish Khan as well,
Yeah.
and Prashid Krishna also? Yeah,
Yeah. As you just said, Pavan, Arshdeep was in the squad for the England series for the ODI. Unfortunately, he
yeah,
didn't get again because obviously winning the series was more important. So they got Arshdeep there. And again, as I said, I've said for a long time, the best death bowler for Team India is 100% Arshdeep after Bumrah. So that's what I want to see in a big match is the Arshdeep Bumrah combination at the death, because I think you've got probably the two best right arm Yorker King, left arm Yorker King right at the end. That will be amazing. And I think the battle for this squad will be Avesh Khan and Arshdeep who will play. I think Siraj, he's penciled in. I think Shardul will be penciled in, and I think Prasid is penciled in. So I think those three bowlers are definitely penciled. Will they go for Arshdeep or will they go for Avesh? Because obviously Yuzi will play the games,
Yeah,
and obviously
obviously.
if Deepak plays, Deepak can also bowl a couple of spin overs. So, but
Yeah,
with no Hardik and no Harshal, as you said, I
yeah.
think that one spot is between Avesh Khan and Arshdeep. And for me, I would always select Arshdeep because Arshdeep is the better death bowler, in my
Mm.
opinion.
Yeah. And the other doubt we have is who's going to open with Shikhar Dhawan, because we have a Shubman Gill over there. We have a Ruturaj Gaikwad, obviously, but maybe they would want to give a Gill a chance. Or perhaps Sanju Samson, his place also, he could open. He could perhaps bat at number three. I don't know how they're going to do that. There's Deepak Hood also, who was opening in the Island series in the 2020 series, but I don't think he'll be opening. He'll be definitely batting either at three or even lower down, perhaps at 4 or 5. But
Yeah.
do you think they'll give a chance to Shubman Gill for this ODI series, or would they stick with Gaikwad?
Yes, as I said, we've just heard that KR Rahul has COVID, so the chances
Yeah.
of him now being selected are zero. So Shikhar will definitely open, and for me, it is the stepping stone is Gill, and then Gaikwad. So Gill or Gaikwad, one of them will happen. For me, it will be Shubman Gill for
Mm,
2 games, and then the third game they will switch to Gaikwad because I think Deepak Huda has done enough to secure the third position. Yeah,
yeah.
or they could go for Sanju Samson or the Ishan Kishan opening pair. So it's a really tough one for me. If they want to go for the lefty righty, then maybe it'll be Shikhar and Shubman, or
Mm,
they could play Samson. I won't be adverse for Sanju Samson to open the batting for India. I think it'll be a very good thing for him as well. And but I doubt that will happen. So I think
yeah.
personally they'll go for Darwin and Shubman.
I think for me, I think definitely for wicket keeping wise, I would definitely keep Ishan Kishan out of this playing 11 and make Sanju Samson either bat at 4 or 5, because anyways I think they have a good solid middle order, and I know they're missing Hardik Pandya as a finisher perhaps, but I think we still have maybe Aksha Patel or Jadeja. I'm not sure whether he's going to be free, but yeah, I'm not sure whether Ishan Kishan might play. We have obviously Surya Kumar Yadav as well. So
Yeah,
I feel Sanju Samson and Shreyas Iyer would obviously play in that middle order. What
yeah.
about you, though, Paji? Would you still include Ishan Kishan at that number four, or would you stick with Shreyas Iyer and Sanju Samson for this playing 11?
Yeah, the problem with the problem with Ishan is we've just seen when we drop him down to 4 or 5, he's not the same player.
Yeah,
So Ishan has always, for me, always been the opener. So whether they play him as the opener, and then you can play Sanju Samson at 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, or even 6 if he's wicket keeping. So I
yeah,
think that's where the secret is. Having a left armour in Shikhar opening the batting, I think
mm,
you've got to basically have a right hand combination with there. So I don't think Ishan will be bat there. And
yeah,
for Sky, you have to bat Sky at 4. Yeah. So I think Shreyas is probably more of a 5 for me because
yeah,
obviously the short ball is a problem for him. So you want to keep him a bit later on in the innings. So I think, yeah, that's the key. I think Huda needs to come at 3, or Shreyas will come at 3, and then 4, I think Sky is penciled in. So the 5 position and the 6 position become available. But Shardul will definitely play in the Hardik position.
yeah, very true. But talking about Hood as well, he's impressing us in recent times as well, especially in the Ireland series, now in the England series. Do you think he could be the suited number three, perhaps even in the 2023? If he keeps on performing like this, do you think he could take Kohli's position at number three and perhaps take that lead in the 2023 ODI World Cup? Do you feel
No
that happen?
chance. No chance. Just for one thing, that I expect Virat to get some form, and I expect him to be on the plane. If he's on the plane, he will definitely play. Not just on a personal opinion, but also on the sponsorship thing, because the sponsors
Yeah.
want Virat
Mm,
Kohli to be there.
true,
So
true.
let's be honest with that. Virat Kohli's position isn't a threat. He may open, but then we have to remember KR Rahul comes into the squad as well. So KR Rahul is penciled in. So I don't see a place for Deepak Hooda on the World Cup. I don't see a place for Sanju Samson at the World Cup because I think Ishan will have one of the spots. So I think that's the other thing. But if they go for Ishan, the only thing is they want to keep DK in the squad as well. So having DK, Rishabh Pant, and Ishan Kishan, 3 of them, they probably might have to drop one of them, and I think it could be Ishan because I think DK will be on the plane as well.
Yeah. Interesting, interesting. But they haven't tried out DK yet in ODI cricket. I mean, in any of the squads, I mean, the Zimbabwe tour, most likely he could get a chance. But yeah, let's see how in the BCCI select for the upcoming series, as we have the Zimbabwe tour, the Australian tour, and the South African tour coming up. So let's see how it goes over there. But coming back to the spinners, obviously we have Yuzvendra Chahal, the lead spinner, obviously this time, and I think Aksha Patel or Jadeja. I'm not sure whether Jadeja will play. It's a doubt. Most likely it might be Aksha Patel. But
Yeah.
how good has Chahal been in the past few months, especially in the England tour? He was outstanding. I think you, Paj, you went and watched some games, and obviously Chahal was just brilliant as the leading spinner. In the past year or so, he has been just outstanding with his spells. IPL, he's been doing in 2020 cricket. He's been doing well in ODI cricket. He did well recently. So how impressive has Chahal been? And that obviously he's taken that lead spinner role now.
Yeah, 100%. The lead spinner for India in white ball cricket is Yuzi. Yeah, no, not just his wickets, the manner he takes the wickets, the way he organizes stuff around the field, and the guy's a chess player. I said he's a chess player. When he was a young player, he's a chess player on the cricket field. He exactly knows what's to happen when he's getting battered in the bowling. He's got the change up bowler there, so that's no doubt. Yuzi is the lead white ball bowler, even ahead of Ashwin now. I think UZ is the thing. And then you have a straight choice between Akshar Patel and Ravindra Jadeja. Obviously, the A grade player is Ravindra Jadeja, and then
Yeah.
Akshar Patel is capable. But you are losing two grades, in my opinion. Like you got a 10 out of 10 player in Ravindra Jadeja, batting, bowling, fielding. He's a 10 out of 10 player, and then you replace him with an 8 out of 10 player, which is Akshar Patel, because the Akshar can bat, he can hit the long ball, he can bowl the 10 overs as well, very economical, and he's a good fielder as well. So, but he's a level below Ravi Jadeja. For me, as I said, I've said it on many occasions. For me, the main player for Team India is Ravi Jadeja, because you got a three-dimensional player, and he's a gun player. So you can't replace that player with a like player. But the one closest to him is Akshar.
Yeah. And coming back to the bowling, I mean, especially in the power play, especially, I mean, first 10 overs, I mean, especially the fast bowlers coming up, who do you think will bowl those from overs 1 to 10 and perhaps 40 to 50, especially in 40 to 50, especially when a Puran or perhaps Jason Holder bats? Who do you think will be those two fast bowlers or even a spinner who will perhaps threaten? Could be a good matchup towards a player like Nicholas Puran or a Jason Holder in the West Indies team for you?
Yeah.
Who could be
For
the
me, as
key
I said,
bowlers?
yeah, for me at the front end, you've got to bowl Siraj and Prasidh. For me, in this lineup, it has to be Prasidh and Siraj, because
Siraj.
they are a bit more hittable at the death overs. So, and they are a bit more accountable when at the start. So for me, obviously Yuzvinder and obviously we say Akshar, because we think Akshar will play. So those two will control the middle part of the innings with the 10 overs, the 20 overs there. And right at the end, this is where you have the big choice. How do you get the death overs done? For me, I say Avesh and Arshdeep are very similar. And I think Arshdeep would be the better choice for me, because he's a lot more economical at the end. Avesh probably takes more wickets, but I think
Yeah.
Arshdeep is the place. And where do you bowl Shardul? I think that's the tricky bit. So I think maybe 5-5 of Siraj and Prasidh, and then obviously a couple more from there, and then in the middle overs you bowl Shardul in the middle overs. So
Yeah.
because we have to admit, Hardik has come alive with the ball. So the difference between Hardik and Shardul is a
Yeah.
bigger difference between the difference between Ravi Jadeja and obviously Akshar Patel. So that difference between the two players, yeah, I think if Hardik bowls the way he's bowling, you've got an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 player again. And if he doesn't
The
bowl, then
only,
he's a 6 out
yeah.
of 10 player.
The only issue I think is that he's injury prone. That's the only doubt about Hardik when he's bowling 10 overs, perhaps in ODI. I don't doubt him for 2020, but ODIs, I'm not sure whether he can bowl 10 overs. That's my only doubt. In the
Yeah, 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 and
yeah,
exactly. They don't want to take that risk with him. They want him on the plane for the World Cup. And again, this is the reason why Harshal Patel is got to be playing on the World Cup squad, because if Hardik does get an injury, you may have Shardul in there. but Harsha Patel is the person that replaces Hardik. So I think India, as I said, for each player they have four options, and those
Mm.
four options are all been they all have a ranking.
Yes, true.
And so for someone like Hardik, the next person, go to person would be Harshal. For me, it should be Shardul, but it is definitely Harshal. As a Ravindra Jadeja doesn't play, the one who covers him is Akshay Patel. And we know Rohit is going to play, and we know obviously Virat will play in the World Cup. So who covers them? And
Mm.
and now we know Pant will play in the T20 World Cup as well. So that has.
Let's see. Let's see how Pant does in 2020 cricket. I mean, he's doing well in ODI and Test, but let's see whether it's going to be Pant or DK in the 2020 World Cup flying to Australia. We have Richik over here. Richik, how are you? Your thoughts? Yeah, Richik, your thoughts on this Indian team? Obviously, it's led by Shikhar Dhawan this time. We have some changes. No Rohit Sharma. We don't have a Hardik Pandya. We don't have KL Rahul. So obviously tested positive for COVID. Hope he gets better soon. We don't have a
Mm.
Jasprit Bumrah in this side. No Ashwin. So what do you think on this squad? No Purple Patel. So what do you think of this squad this time? And who do you think will be the key players this time?
My I feel that the couple of new players got opportunities, so they will get opportunities. So they are the main players. But I think Shikhardhawan is the player to watch out for. Of course, he is experienced and he's leading the team. So I think this is the player to watch out for.
Hmm.
Pawan,
What do you?
just a quick one
Yeah.
there. We didn't mention it before. Shikhar Dhawan being the captain, and then
Hmm.
obviously Ashdeep playing. You
Yeah.
might see a link there because obviously Shikhar, and then he was also with the Delhi Capitals when Avesh
Hmm.
was then. So it's a
Yeah.
big call. It's a big call for Shikhar as the captain of how he's gonna, which player he's gonna pick and how he's
Yeah.
gonna bowl them. So
Yeah, very true. It's going to be a very tricky situation. Obviously, most of them from he knows from Delhi Capitals and plus with Punjab. I mean, both Ashraf and Avesh, he knows. I mean, he's been playing with both of them. So yeah, as Paji pointed out, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who is going to up for, and let's see how both of them do. But Richie, coming to you, who will be that main bowler? Especially, I mean, Chahal is there. Obviously, we know how he's been doing in the England series. So no doubt he's going to perform well against West Indies. We'll talk about the West Indies squad in a bit. But the fast bowlers, we have Avesh, Ashdeep. We have some, yeah, I mean, Siraj is obviously experienced, but not been, he had a, I think he had an average or not a good IPL, obviously. TCB, Prashid Krishna had a, I think, outstanding IPL, even though you don't see from the wickets, his economy plus dot balls, he had the most dot balls in IPL 2022. So, what are your thoughts on the fast bowling attack of India this time?
Look, Prasid Krishna have a good start to his ODI career. So he is of course doing very well. And Indian series also he got some wickets also. So and he's a tall bowler. He can suit this type of matches. So he's of course and he's doing very well in IPL. And I want Arjdeep Singh in ODI debut because he's been a fantastic throughout this IPL. Yes, he is in the England squad, but unfortunately due to what so much problem that he didn't got opportunity. So hopefully in this ODI series leading by Shikhar. So hopefully Arshdeep will make this debut. But I like Prasid Krishna's bowling. I mean, of course he played for KKR, and because he's playing very well for KKR, he's been fantastic for Rajasthan Royals and for his a good start for his Indian ODI career also. So yeah, Prasid
Yeah,
Krishna I think the player to watch out for in this for his bowling team. Aveshkan little bit out. I think he's good in T20s, but his average also is more expensive than but I think yeah, agreed
yeah.
that Prasid Krishna is the
And
player to watch out.
yeah, and Paji talk about West Indies. Obviously, they've gone with a 13-member squad, whereas India have gone with a 20-member squad. And West Indies have recently lost to Ireland plus Bangladesh at home, and they are tremendously under pressure, obviously, even with the ODI Super League. And with so many issues with the West Indian board, I really don't know. But they've gone with a 13-member squad. However, how do you feel West Indies can challenge India in some way? Because I think only about I mean, three or four players perhaps could be a problem for India, but I don't think seeing in this squad there is so much experience, especially with the bowling attack. What do you think, though, Paji?
yeah, I think they are going to really struggle with this squad. You know, Jaden Seals, I'm looking forward to watching him. But I do think he's definitely someone to watch.
Yeah,
Chemo Paul, we know what we get with him. Ossie Rovman, the beast, Puran. But yeah, there's a lot of players missing in this team that you think, okay, are these players up to the standard of the, let's say, a B team, India team? I just
yeah,
can't see them. I can't see them. And yeah, you got the experience of Holder, you got Puran, you got Rovman Powell, Jaden Seals. Um, any more that
yeah.
I
Some have
really,
done well in West Indies. I think. I think
yeah,
Akil Hussain. I think Brandon King have been doing well in CPL.
yeah.
Kyle Mayers unfortunately didn't get a chance for Lucknow Super Giants this time, but I think he's also promising open. I would feel usually opens. I think with Brandon. I think Brandon King bats in the middle order, and I
Yeah,
think Brooks. I think Hope or either Brooks opens with Mayers. Yeah, but yeah, I feel
yeah,
it's like
it's a
a
lot of
full
players that
order.
you think they could pick. There's a lot of players there that you think they could pick that are not playing, and that's a big worry for me. It's because you look at their potential of middle order. Puran, Powell. Where is our friend from Punjab Kings? Huh?
Odin Smith.
Audience.
Odin Smith. Yeah, where's he? Where's
I
Odin?
think they
And
dropped
where's
him. I think they
where's
dropped
And
him.
Cottrell?
where is our Mike India? Sunday Russell also there. He's also not in the squad.
Sheldon
Russell doesn't
Cottrell.
play
Where's
ODI.
he?
I
Okay.
think Russell doesn't play ODI much. I think he plays
Yeah.
only
But
2020 cricket
yeah, but
before.
still, I mean, having a good season. I was also surprised that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just
unfortunately, Pollard
yeah.
retired, and that's a big hole to fill. I would see Pajay, especially in the middle order after Puran. I think I don't know about holders batting recently, but that middle order looks really, really worrying. And if they get, I mean, they could easily get all out for 150 or 160, even on their home conditions. So, very
Yeah.
worrying signs for West Indies ahead.
Very worrying signs. And again, I think, after seeing the retirement of Ben Stokes, I
Mm,
think this is going to be a bit more of a trend now, because the thing is, the ODI format is only relevant when there's World Cup in that year. So I think a lot of players are going to be wanting to see, like Ben Stokes, are just workload management. Which area should I drop? And the one that unfortunately is going to happen is not in a World Cup year. Obviously, in a World Cup year, it's given a lot more focus. But yeah, I think West Indies are really going to concentrate on the T20 for their
mm,
squad system, and I think India will be there. But I cannot see, and I said, I don't want to jinx it, but I cannot see this West Indies team do anything significant that can hurt. A player like
mm,
Nicholas Puran, we know what we're going to get. We're either going to get a magician, or
Yeah.
we're going to get somebody who's going to get zero. The
mm.
international telephones are dial 0010. We know we get that with Nicholas Puran. And as I we know what we get with Jason Holder. Their good players will not surprise the Team India, because the Team India know how to play against those players. It's the
Mm.
ones like Kisi Kati, Gurdek,
Moti, yeah.
Mutti, which means fat in Punjabi. We've got something like that. We don't know those players. Maybe one of those will come good. Brandon King, we know. Jerry Joseph, Karl Mars, we know. There's nothing really that should scare Team India,
Mm.
whichever 11 in Team India play.
True. Richik, what about you? Who do you think will be that underrated player, perhaps that could surprise India? I don't think any player can surprise India, but who do you think could perform well in this series, perhaps for West Indies for you?
I think only Yeah, I think only Nicholas Puran is there in this squad. I didn't see any good potential there because half of their side is their inexperience. If you look at it, in fact, I hope also played to what playing. In fact, he scored 100
Mm.
against Pakistan also, so he
Yeah,
also can watch out for. But otherwise, the team is finished. Their team is there. It's a few players. It,
big worry. Big worry because I think
yeah.
this year has been a very, very poor year for West Indies in ODI. I mean, losing to Ireland, I mean, at home, I really don't know what to say about West Indies
But
because last year
especially
was so good.
the last loss was Bangladesh was a very eliminated one. That too at home to Bangladesh, that's for unexpectedly. Yeah, they won the test series, that's fine. But ODI series to Bangladesh, that was at home, that is too
Mm.
much for them.
Yeah, because since the Sri Lankan series, when I was checking, I mean, last year West Indies had a very good squad. When I feel 2021, had a good year. They beat Sri Lanka 3-0. They beat some teams, but this year, I think since Pollard's retirement and a few players failing fitness tests, like I mean,
Mm.
Hetmeyer's failing fitness test, Sunil Narayan's not even in the conclusion. Andre Russell doesn't want to play ODI cricket. They've all gone to play these leagues, franchise cricket, which is what is destroying West Indies cricket
The
at the
team is
moment.
totally weak.
Yeah. Paji, your thoughts? I mean, especially key players like Hetmeyer, Narayan, Andre Russell, I don't know, Hetmaj, I don't know. These players all go for big franchise leagues and then they're not participating for the ODI squads. So, what do you think about them? And then Pollard obviously taking retirement at 32, which was surprising as well. So, your thoughts on
I'm
these?
not surprised with Pollard retiring because the thing is, some players that have reached such a level when they play, when their performance drops by the amount his performance is dropped, you you're not surprised. The money that the West Indies board has compared to what the players get in the franchise, they can't compete with that. The crowds are dwindling. That's why the US market is very important for West Indies cricket because I think that's where potentially you've got some more action coming, some more finance coming through that side.
Yeah.
IPL franchises are buying. Punjab have St. Lucia and Barbados has the Royals. So I think it's
Even
not looking
KKR,
good,
I think.
huh?
Even Tornado Knight Riders from
Yeah,
KKR.
and the Night Riders as well. Yeah, so there's three franchises there. We're seeing what's happening with South Africa now.
Yeah.
The Indian franchises are buying them. So I think it's sad, but it looks like for me that the ODI days are over. The only thing that is keeping the ODI cricket alive is the chance of a World Cup, and the 2023 World Cup in India is going to
Yes.
be massive, and you'll see next year. People start taking this format seriously, and then for 4 years they'll pack it away, put it in a suitcase for 3 years, and then start it again. But I
Yeah.
don't see any relevance in it now because I think there's just too much cricket and
Too
West
much
Indies.
franchise leagues going on, and I think a lot of teams are either focusing on 2020 cricket, and because the Test Championship has started, teams are focusing on Test cricket also a lot. So I think the schedule is just too much for them, and yeah, as you said, they only concentrate on ODI cricket in the ODI. I mean, the ODI World Cup itself, which is happening next year. So it's sad to see like a team like West Indies, who dominated the 70s and 80s, who had legendary players. When talk about, I mean, coming to the present, West Indies are like nowhere. Perhaps they could go to qualifiers as well for next year as well, compared to
Yeah,
the 2019 World Cup. And back in those days, India were the underdogs and West Indies were the a dominating team. But now it's just reverse. And sad
yeah,
to see West Indies cricket in that state. But I think even the West Indies cricket
yeah,
board should get blamed for not giving enough salary for the players, not finding talents, the
yeah.
scouts, for making them to focus on 2020 cricket, and they're failing in 2020 cricket as well now, since all the stars have retired. So it's sad to see that West Indies cricket is in this stage right now. Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't see how the future is going to change. And I think again, hopefully, you said the Indian money coming into the league will help. But I can't see why a young players person in the Caribbean would want to play cricket when they have athletics and they have basketball,
Yeah.
and they have the United States on their doorstep where the big money is. And for young kids, it's the big thing is unfortunately that parents will push them in the sport where they're going to make more money. And for kids in the West Indies, I think and in India, same thing. We don't see people from India playing football or doing stuff like boxing because
Hmm.
the parents want them to play cricket because they know the money is in the cricket. So I think
Yeah.
that's the big problem, big issue.
Yeah. And I think this is a very memorable ground also, coming to Queen's Sports Club, Rangers. Obviously, I think that's the India's highest ever score, 413 for 5, as we know, against Bermuda back in the 2007 World Cup. And it has hosted 69 ODIs so far. Hopefully, it doesn't rain today. I think it's going to be all good today. And yeah, I think
And we have to say
memorable
one
match.
thing. I think India will be the home team because again,
Yeah,
a lot of
because I
teams.
think there's a good community, right? In
It's a
in
big community in
that.
Trinidad and Guyana. It's a massive community in those two places. So I think they will enjoy most of the support if there is support going there. Because say we're used to watching West Indies stadiums, 90% empty. So hopefully today, Indians will come out. And the Bharat Army, if the Bharat Army is there, they will make sure some noise is made there.
Hmm. Richik, what about you? Especially today's match and especially the conditions. What do you think India will do? Obviously, I don't know whether they'll bat or bowl. It depends on the pitch conditions. But what do you think India should do if they do win the
I think
toss?
I think I think they should wanted us to bowl first. I think in these conditions, they have if they bowl first and restrict them at least less than 200, then something else, then it could be easy to them to chase down. So I think wanted us choose to bowl. That's it.
Hmm. Paji, what do you think will be the playing 11 for India? I think you said a bit when we first
Yeah,
analyzed on the India versus West Indies, but who do you
yeah.
think is the probable playing 11 for you for
Okay.
today's match?
Okay. It's definitely Dhawan, and I will open with Gill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huda will be my number three. Sky will be my number four. And Shreyas will be number five.
Hmm. Yeah.
And number six, I'm going to go for Shardul. Seven, Aksa. I'm going to run out of players now. Then I'm going to go for Prasid, Siraj, and Arshdeep.
Chahal. Yeah.
And Chahal. Yeah, Chahal. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, that's it. I'm happy with that team. So
Hmm.
I'm going for Darwin to open with Gill, Huda, Sky, Shreyas, Shardul, Aksar, Prasid, Siraj, Arshdeep, and Chahal.
Interesting. Interesting. What about you, Ritik? Who
Almost
do you
same.
think is the?
Almost same.
Okay.
So Shikhar,
So, do you go with Gaikwad or you go with Gill?
I should go for Shubman because he's been fantastic in his life and he's a good potential. I know Rituraj has been fantastic. He's been fantastic in Vijay Hazare, but in the first match, I go with Shubman Gill.
Hmm.
Actually,
Number three for you?
I've seen a flaw in my team. I've just spotted a flaw. So
Hmm.
I've got no wicket keeper. So I have to go for I'll have to take Shreyas out and put in Ishan Kishan. Yeah,
Hmm. Interesting.
yeah.
Won't you put Sanju Samson in your team for the playing 11?
I would, but he's not going to play. Yeah. So I
But
know
it,
he's not going to play, so he'll definitely not play.
hmm,
I'd be very surprised if he plays because I think Huda is ahead of him. I think Ishan Kishan is ahead of him, and so I can't. He can't play instead of Sky, and he can't play instead of Shreyas. So unless he where can you fit Sanju Samson into that team? You cannot fit him into that team. Yeah. So I think Shreyas is the tricky selection because his form doesn't warrant him to play, but you
hmm,
know that the selectors want him. So I think that's the one I probably would say. Okay, if he doesn't play, then Ishan plays. Or what they probably will end up doing is drop Huda and play Shreyas. They'll probably end up doing that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It'd be interesting to see what will happen. But I think, yeah, I can't see Samson playing. I just can't. And the other thing is, I can't really see Arshdeep playing. I think Aveshi's ahead of him. So, but I think Shikha might change that.
okay. Yeah, let's see how that goes though. Yeah. But Paji, I want to come to another case about BCCI wanting Virat Kohli to play the upcoming Zimbabwe tour because he wanted a break, obviously, after the West Indies tour and come back to the Asia Cup. But do you think Kohli will play for the upcoming Zimbabwe tour, or do you think he's going to skip that and play the Asia Cup? And will that make Saurav Ganguly obviously furious with what's going on with Virat Kohli right now?
As I said before, I've said it on the record a lot of times. What Virat Kohli needs to he needs to get himself back to Delhi. He needs to play for Delhi in some kind of format and needs to go back into his home environment and enjoy his life a bit. Whether that will help him do this, as I said, lot of noise in the media about him taking a session from this person, that person, this person, that person. That might help. But a coach that he's familiar with in a environment that he's familiar with might help. But then
Mm,
again, if he fails against Zimbabwe, this is the problem, which is the pressure, which people
yeah,
don't understand. They think, oh, you play an easy team, you're going to score runs. If he
yeah,
fails against Zimbabwe, the amount of pressure that he's going to be under is going to be immense. So if I was Virat, I'd probably just take myself out of the pressure cooker of social media and stuff like that. Go in to Delhi with his first coach. Just relax his mind, and if not, we can get him a spot in Warwickshire. I can sort that out, and he can play for Warwickshire for. I don't mind that
yeah.
happening. So, no, something out of his environment, something different, something
Mm.
where he's enjoying his cricket again. I think that's the most important thing. When you get to
I
that
think he's
level,
currently in England as well. I think he perhaps could play for a county team, perhaps, and use that month's time of practicing in the county cricket circuit rather than having a holiday, perhaps, because he already had a holiday for 1 or 2 weeks. So
yeah.
perhaps he could
Well, I'll find him.
utilize
I'll
the
find.
time.
I'll try to locate him if he's in Birmingham. Virat, if you're in Birmingham, Aja makki di roti and saag for you here, or chole bhature, whatever you want, we can make and get you back into some kind of form.
That's a nice gesture from Paji, by the way. Richik, your thoughts on Kohli playing, whether he wants to play the Zimbabwe tour? Do you agree with what Saurabh Ganguly and the BCCI are trying to do right now towards Kohli, or do you think he should take the rest and wait, let him wait until the Asia Cup, which is in UAE and could be fantastic conditions for Kohli to come back, obviously? You're muted, by the way, Richik. Sorry. Yeah.
Hello, Pam, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
So I can say that yeah, they're saying that he should play against Zimbabwe, but I should say he should focus on Asia Cup. But Asia Cup is a good opportunity to come back in form. I know BCCI Dada, they are all saying that he should play in the Zimbabwe, but I should say he should must focus on Asia Cup. That's a good opportunity to score and got come back in form. So I should say Asia Cup is more than the Zimbabwe tour.
Mm, true, true. I agree. Paji Krishna Gopal has asked here Sanju Samson should open for me because for RR he comes to bat at 3, and neither for Sanju you can't send Sky at 6 or 7. Do you agree with this, Paji?
No, no. Simple as that. His form doesn't warrant him. You've got to have Sky. Sky is your number 4. There's certain players that play in certain positions. Sanju Samson, opening or third or sixth, whatever, he can play most of the time. Ability wise, no problem. But you cannot pick him in front of Sky. And you cannot pick him in front of Deepak Hooda. If you said to me last year, can I say this thing? I said no. But you have to take it in that position where Deepak Hooda deserves to stay the number 3 position, or Shreyas, whichever the way they go, and 4. And then you can't pick Sanju Thompson instead of Ishan Kishan because we know the selectors like Ishan Kishan. I would open him. I would open if he's my team. I would definitely have a position for Sanju, but I can't see him playing in this team.
Yeah, I agree with you. But Paji, coming back to you, who's going to get the most wickets for India and most runs for India this time, and same for West Indies as well? Who do you think will get the most runs and wickets?
For India, I think Shikhar probably will come good. I think the captaincy will sit nice with him. The bowling looks good for him, so Shikhar definitely shoe in for that. The bowling, obviously, I'm going to go for Chahal because Chahal is the main wicket taker. I think he will take the wickets. For very difficult for very difficult, very difficult for West
It is.
Indies, but I will say maybe let's go for Puran. Let's take the easy option. Puran. Let's go for Puran, and I'm going for Jaden Seals. I think Jaden Seals is like a Jofra
Yeah,
Archer
I agree.
type of
I
ball,
agree.
so I think Jaden Seals maybe.
Yeah, what about you, Richik? Who's going to score the most runs, most wickets for India? I mean, man of the series also, and yeah, Paji, who's going to be your man of the series? It's going to be Dhawan, no Chahal for you. Oh, sorry, yeah,
Yeah, very tough one. Yeah, I think maybe it should be Shikhar. I think Shikhar will come good. He didn't have a great. He had one good innings in the ODIs here, and then the other two didn't go there. But I think Shikhar looks really relaxed and chilled. So I think maybe Shikhar.
Hmm. Krishna Gopal says highest run scorer for India, Surya Kumar Yadav for West Indies, Shea Hope, he says highest wicket taker for West Indies, Akil Hussain, he says, and for India, Yuzvendra Chahal. Okay, interesting choices. Richik, what about you?
I should say, look, for India, I think highest run getter, of course. I should say, look, I think Shikhar, of course, he is experienced there and he's kept leading the team. So I should say Shikhar should score the most runs. Sky also
Hmm.
score more runs, that's no doubt about it. But Shikhar is more experienced and he's leading the team. So he will be, and Yuzichal will be the leading wicket taker. And for West Indies, I think I should go for Shea Hope. Is the leading run scorer and wicket taker. Yeah, Kilbusman, same.
Most runs for me, I'm going to go with the interesting choice. I'm going to go with Huda because I think he had a very good Ireland series as well. England series also he performed well. So I just feel Huda against West Indies, I think could be a good combination. And I think West Indies bowlers don't know where to exactly bowl towards Huda as well because he's like a surprise as well coming. I think he's coming
And
after
he can
selection for
hit
a
anything.
long time. Yeah, I mean, Shikhar Dhawan has been there in the setup for so many years, and especially bowlers like Jason Holder, obviously senior. I mean, have been in the squad for about 6 or 7 years, so I think they know how to handle Shikhar Dhawan. But most wickets for India obviously is going to be Yuzvendra Chahal. Obviously, he's been in great form in the over the past year. Tremendous. I don't know why he
I
wasn't
mean,
selected for the T20 World Cup last year. It's a
let's
question mark.
I want to tell something.
What? What,
I
Richik?
want to tell. Yeah, I found interesting tell something. Since doesn't play after T20 World Cup is over, and since he's come back in the Indian side and he's been fantastic. So he's of course a fantastic bowler right now for Indian team.
Yeah. And highest wicket taker for West Indies, I would go with maybe Akil Hussain or Jason Holder. I think Jason Holder could come back. And for yeah, highest run scorer, I'm going with Roman Powell. I think Roman Powell can do something. I
Surprise,
know he's
surprise. Surprise, surprise.
he's
But
using that
yeah,
over there.
good pick, good pick. But I think with Huda, you said something really good about Huda. I would expect Huda to be the top scorer, but the only problem is with Huda is I don't see his selection guaranteed, whereas the Shikhar's guaranteed. So I think that's the issue. But yeah, it should be it should be awesome.
Yeah. So obviously, I think both of you are going for a 3-0 whitewash. I think that's expected. Even I'm going for a 3-0 whitewash. Obviously, it's seeing how West Indies have been playing. But yeah, a few thoughts also on the Pakistan versus Sri Lanka series as well. I mean, the first test. I mean, a brilliant victory for Pakistan, highest record chase for Pakistan over there. Richik, your thoughts on that victory from Pakistan, first of all? It would be
It's
bad for me not to talk
it's a
about
great.
Sri Lanka after that loss. So yeah.
I saw the full match. So yeah, I saw the full match, but yeah, Pakistan do very well. I mean, the way they played, I think, especially that man, I think, such a man is a wonderful player. I mean, just playing a six-test match and score a match winning and chasing a 42 and score 150. That's incredible. And support by Bauer and Rizwan, which is incredible. And it's a total team effort. I'm sure not saying not only Abdullah Shafiq played very well. It's total team effort. In fact, in the first inning to second inning, they bowled very well. It's total not only is one man century effort. It's all total team effort. Baba scored first in the century. It's total team effort. So yeah, Pakistan, yeah, good victory for them. It's excellent
Yeah,
victory.
I
I mean,
mean,
the highest success in goal also. Yeah,
yeah, brilliant chase from Pakistan. Obviously, their second highest ever chase successfully from
and they
Pakistan.
And fun fact is that highest successful ranches that is versus Sri Lanka, but not at goal, but at Palekara, that is back 2015.
Yeah, 2015. Yeah, I think they chased 378 back in
Yeah.
2015 as well. But
Hmm.
Paji, what do you think about Pakistan, especially doing this against Sri Lanka? Because I didn't expect them to obviously chase the 344, and these young players like Abdullah Shafiq doing well in his sixth test, doing well even in against Australia as well. Bab Azam and Rizwan, we know their caliber obviously, and they are dominating all three formats, both especially Bab Azam. So
Mhm.
your thoughts, especially on this Pakistan Test team, because they look really good, and unfortunately, we don't see a Pakistan versus India Test series. It's what we all want, but unfortunately, due to political tensions, those can't happen. But your thoughts on this Pakistan Test team playing against other nations and perhaps
Yeah.
have a chance to go to the WTC finals. This is all that they are playing for, and especially India could be under threat if Pakistan keep on this winning trend going on.
Yeah, something. This is I had a conversation with a respected journalist yesterday, talking about why England are so good at Test cricket now, and it's the WTC. Simple as that. We look at the last series between India and England. If there was no WTC, you could see India wanting to win the series and just playing for the defense. They could have just batted out sensibly, but they went for the victory because they wanted the extra points.
Mm.
When India lost that test match, they lost it on the day 4 at the start. The first 20 overs, they lost them because they wanted to get 400 on the board and then say, okay, England, you've got to chase 400 psychologically, 400 is there. So any score above 400 now is a psychological barrier. Anything under 400, maybe 380, 390, the team and the mindset of the team is now to win the test match to bag the points for the WTC. Yeah.
Yeah.
Losing a series doesn't mean anything anymore. Yeah. It doesn't
Mm.
mean anything anymore unless it's like India playing South Africa in South Africa and India wanting to win the series because they haven't won a series there for such a long time. India have never won a test match at Edgbaston.
Yeah.
So they went for the victory.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went
Mm.
not to draw the series or win the series. They went to win the test match. So the extra points there has now changed the mindset of every team that is playing Test cricket. So with Pakistan coming into this form, they are the most dangerous team when they have their backs against the wall, and somebody says they can't do this. Then suddenly
Mm.
some magician comes out of the team and they manage to do that with their batting. They have probably for me the best batsman in the world at the moment, Babar.
Mm.
After Root
Yeah.
because Root is different
Obviously,
level.
root is number one. Yeah, we
Yeah,
all
Root
know
is
that.
number
Yeah.
one, but and they have Babar Azam. So again, it just takes three good partnerships, of 75, 80 runs, and where do you get? You need to get to 300. So again,
Mm.
they did that in this. And Sri Lanka, to be fair, Sri Lanka are playing some excellent cricket at the moment. So again, for Pakistan to beat Sri Lanka, that's where the surprise was because Sri Lanka are coming from high, and
Mm.
Pakistan, we don't know what we get. So I think,
I
yeah,
think the bowling is the biggest weakness for Sri Lanka, especially the spinners. I think that's the problem. A bit inexperienced, I would say, because obviously back then we had Rangana Herath, who was just a fabulous spinner back then, who just troubled Pakistan. He was just too good against Pakistan when it comes to Test cricket. But unfortunately, we don't have his services anymore, and we just have Prabhat Jayasuriya who's playing his second Test match. But I mean, he is a definite future for Sri Lanka. Obviously, it's just the second match, getting 20 wickets, I think, in 2 matches. So I think he's a very promising talent. And batting wise, good to see Chandimal coming back in form. I think we haven't seen him doing so well in tests when he's doing underperforming in 20 cricket. Has a very poor strike rate and average, but good to see him doing well in the long formats. But I think plenty to do. But though for Sri Lanka, I think losing
yeah,
like that
Yeah.
in fashion at Gaul, I think especially the bowling, I think needs to improve because I think 300 plus on that surface was too good. I mean, Sri Lanka did well. I mean, in the batting front, but the bowling wise, I think they have a lot to
Need to be
improve.
improved.
And if they did win the Test match, it could have helped them, boosted them a lot in the WTC finals. Fortunately, but they have another chance, obviously, to beat Pakistan in the second Test and perhaps make this table even more interesting. And then India has a challenge, obviously, to I think they have 4 Test matches against Australia and 2 Tests against Bangladesh, if I'm not mistaken, right,
yeah,
Paji? So
yeah,
yeah, those 4 Test matches against Australia at home will be very
yeah.
important
Yeah, of course.
for
Yeah, and
uh,
again, as we just said, Pavan, they have to win those four test matches. Because you look at
yeah,
this table now, you look, okay, South Africa at home. Nobody beats South Africa in South Africa. Very, very rarely do South Africa lose at home. So they're going to have a few good seasons. With their bowling lineup under South African conditions, Dwan Olivier is back as well.
yeah,
That's a very, very good, Rabada, Noche, and the list goes on. They are a very dangerous team, so I expect them to go through, and I expect Australia to go through. I think that's going to be the WTC final. I think Pakistan will have a bit of a run for the money, but India versus Australia, I think that is going to be the one for India. If India don't win that 4-0 or 3-0, whatever the series numbers is, I think India will be out of the Test series.
But Paji, do you think India can win all the matches, or do you think Australia now playing against Pakistan and Sri Lanka? I mean, winning against Pakistan 1-0, I think that series was in the three-match series. Then they went to Sri Lanka and won one test match. Do you expect Australia to beat India in one of those test matches? Since they are, I mean, they played in against Pakistan and Sri Lanka. I mean,
Yeah.
all in subcontinental conditions. So in
No,
India,
no.
also, I think the series is in 2023. But still, you never know with Pat Cummins' captaincy, with the way that they're dominating
Yeah,
in
Pat,
Australia
don't
as
understand
well.
Pat Cummins. I mean, he's doing very, very well. So I feel Australia at least one match from that.
Mm.
I
Yeah, and
don't.
I
I
think
don't think so, Pavan. I think India to beat India in India near enough. There's no harder challenge in Test cricket because India are just a different level. So I think do the matchups of the two teams. The Australian bowling is not as effective in India as it is in Australia.
mm.
So and England because they like the bounce, they like the swing. So I can't see the spinning option of Australia. And I know they got Nathan Lyon. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
see
and I
another.
think
I think you need
Mitchell
two spinners.
Swepson. Yeah, Mitchell Swepson was there, but I think Ashton Agar might be back next year. But I'm not sure whether they'll go to either the left arm spin of Ashton Agar or Mitchell Swepson. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
I just
think it's the
I don't
fastest
see that
bowler.
level against Ravi Ashwin and
Mm.
Jadeja on
Jadeja,
home conditions,
Akshay
and
Patel
then
as well.
Bumrah, Shami,
I think Akshay Patel will surely play in India for sure. I think both
Akshar Patel.
Jadeja and Akshay Patel and Ashwin. So those three.
Ashwin.
Yeah.
And then Shreyas is a beast in India as well. So because the ball doesn't bounce high enough, so I can't see Australia beating India. I think they might get a draw. They might get a draw, but I can't see Australia winning a Test match in India, especially because the pressure is on them after what India did to them in Australia. So I think I can't see that happening. I think India have to win all their home series. 3-4-0, whatever they need to play them. They need to win all of them to have a chance. But I still don't think it's going to be enough. I think South
Mm.
Africa and Australia have got enough in the tank now to have the WTC final.
What about you, Richik? I
Oh,
think Richik. Yeah, Richik, what
yes, yes.
about you? What do you think will happen, the scenario for India?
Oh, this is impossible. I don't see India can qualify for this year's financial. Last time India played very well. That's all. But I think that if they got negative marking, and so that what should I say that
Yeah, I think
penalty they
minus
got,
two
and
got deducted. Yeah, 2 points got
yeah,
deducted because of the over eight.
yeah, that
Yeah,
penalty rejected, and this time, and before that, England fifth test, they already lost at South Africa by 2-1. That's a big one loss because if they won the South Africa series, that could be at least a little relief for them. But now it's still a very difficult. I know Australia 4 matches left. Bangladesh they will try. That's okay, fine. But
yeah,
Australia, I mean, this is very difficult, and you never know. Pat Cummins is doing very well. I think the way he got started, yeah, he lost against Sri Lanka that last match, that's okay. But you
mm,
never know. I mean, the way he's been captaincy, I think is way better than that team bloody pain. So I think, yeah, don't underestimate Australia. I mean, I should say
yeah.
South Africa, Australia final. I don't see India in the final. They will do better in the next time.
Mm. Yeah, but just wanted to update on the Pakistan and Sri Lanka. Obviously, we know that Mahesh Theekshana is injured and he won't be there for the second test. So I
And
think
for
this
Pakistan,
match,
Shaheen Shah Afridi will also
yeah,
not be playing.
Shine Shafri also won't be playing the second test match. So updates on that, and yeah, we mainly wanted to speak on the India versus West Indies ODI series mainly. So thank you so much, Paji, for spending your time, and especially Richik as well for coming along. Yeah, and we'll end
Thank
it
you so
over
much.
here. Krishna Gopal here says series 2-1. He thinks for India, he doesn't think whitewash will happen. And yeah, thank you so much, Krishna Gopal, for your comments. Yeah, we understand you're outside, and yeah, I did it in the afternoon. Yeah, so I know that some people are busy and it's obviously difficult with the time zones. But yeah, thank you so much, Richik and Paji, for joining. And yeah,
Thanks,
hope to
Pavan.
see a good match, cracking match in the first ODI between India versus West Indies starting at 7 p.m. today at Queen Sports Park in Trinidad. So let's see how that goes in the series, and hopefully we can come for a review. And hope, Paji, are you back with the lives on Instagram for
Yeah,
the
I
series?
might. Yeah, I'll do some lives today. So
Okay,
yeah,
great.
I'll
I
send you a
also
text
want
when I do.
to.
Catch you later, guys.
Thank you so much, Paji. Yeah, no worries. And yeah, thank you so much, Richik, as well. and we'll end it over there. So please do like, comment, and share on this video. Please do subscribe the Sports Breakdown. Yeah, just wanted to touch a bit on Pakistan versus Sri Lanka a bit. I think they left a bit, but just a bit small analysis of what happened. So obviously, yeah, so this was a heartbreaking loss, obviously, for Sri Lanka, but yeah, I mean, as I said, I spoke with Paji and Richik. I think Dinesh Chandimal did a good job in this test match. I don't think the 76, I think, and he scored 94. I think you cannot question his Chandimal in this test match. Osho Fernando did well in the second innings. Kusal Mendes had a very good knock. So I can't question the batting. Obviously, the middle order perhaps could have done a bit better, but Tikshana, brilliant job with the bat. Ramesh Mendes brilliant. Dickwell, Dhananjay De Silva didn't perform under expectations. So did no did Matthews. Bowling wise, I don't. I mean, first innings brilliant, but the problem is when you're 148 for 9 and you ensure that Pakistan get to 218 and allow Baba Azam to, I mean, at least try to get the tail end out without spreading the field. I mean, you're spreading the field and just allowing Naseem Shah to score those singles. So Baba Azam to rotate the strike, just put some pressure and bringing all those fielders to the 30-yard circle. And that's what I didn't see from Sri Lanka in this test match. I always saw Sri Lanka just spreading around the field, just allowing Pakistan to score those ones and twos, and just nicely making Pakistan to get those runs easily. I didn't see that from Sri Lanka, and that's very poor captaincy from Dimuth, spreading out the field, not trying to see to put a perhaps extra slip, or perhaps with the fast bowlers try to put extra slip or extra gully or extra field in the 30 yards circle, put some pressure onto Sri Lanka and sorry, Pakistan. And then the variations of the bowlers, especially from the fast bowler, I think Kasun Rajitha could have done a better job, perhaps bowling those bouncers or perhaps trying to attempt the Yorker, trying to vary those lengths. And I didn't see that from Sri Lanka. And Tikshana, I think he was bowling a bit too fast. He should bowl a bit too slow, I would feel. And the slower you get, I mean, especially the spinners, the slower you bowl, obviously you have a better chance of getting wickets, especially when the ball gets old, the red ball gets old. Obviously, the Kookaburra ball, obviously you can get more wickets. And I didn't see that, unfortunately, from Sri Lanka, and especially second innings. Full credit to Abdullah Shafiq. Fielding was awful from Sri Lanka in this test match, I would think. Bad fielding. I just need to credit Abdullah Shafiq, man. I mean, has started brilliantly in his career. Baba Azam had a brilliant test match, supported well. Obviously, we know he's the best batsman in all three formats. No question, don't even debate about it. Baba Azam's obviously the best batsman right now. If you talk about all three formats, all three, or check all the three formats rankings, batting, Baba Azam is the best. You cannot question on that. Don't bring out Virat Kohli right now. I mean, just the past 2 3 years, Baba Azam has just been phenomenal. Don't question about it. That consistency in all three formats, I don't think anyone can match. And Rizwan is also coming up. I mean, Mohammad Rizwan is definitely coming up. I think he has that potential to obviously play that good role. I mean, a big innings coming up. I just feel that coming from Rizwan. Only problem with Pakistan, I would feel, is that middle order. I think that's the batting, but as people are questioning, Yasir Shah can bat, Mohammad Nawaz can bat. Yeah, maybe, but then middle order perhaps could be a bit better. And obviously, Shaheen Shafridi in the next test match will be a big loss for Pakistan. Spinners wise, I think Mohammad Nawaz did a brilliant job in his first test match. I think he'll get even better. Yasir Shah obviously bowled, I think, what Pakistan's are saying, the bowl of the century. So we'll see what that happens. But overall, I think Pakistan have done a good job. They've analyzed Sri Lanka extremely well with the days that they've been here in Sri Lanka. So excellent. I think excellent from Pakistan. For me, for Sri Lanka, I think the openers didn't put a good platform. Oshada Fernando performed well, but Dimuth had been very poor. But you cannot question Dimuth. Angelo has been doing well in 2022, but didn't have a good outing here in Sri Lanka for the past two test series. Same with Dickwella. I hope he can refigure his form back. But a lot of positive signs for Sri Lanka. But I just think Pakistan just did well in that test series, and well done to Pakistan. Obviously, they won a record chase at Gaul, highest chase ever in Gaul. So congratulations to Pakistan. And yeah, we'll end it over there. Please do like, comment, and share on this video. Please do subscribe to Sports Breakdown. For more updates like this, we came live after a long time. So yeah, that's it from me. And till the next time, till the series of India versus West Indies or Pakistan versus Sri Lanka, will be coming back next weekend or perhaps Friday, Saturday to analyze on that as well. So thank you so much, guys, and see you in the next video.